Howdy, Ayebawl here, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio with Arumba's Angels Plus Mod Pack. So, I finally got robots now. Yay! So the first step is to completely destroy the whole circuit area and rebuild it to a better way so I can expand if needed. Circuits are always very important and always end up being very expensive. So I'm going to move the RoboPort over, set up some storage area, and put those robots to work. And I don't have that many, so I'm going to help them out. No more chopping trees. After the circuit layout gets reorganized, I plan to also move the research down from its temporary area to its more permanent position near the main bus line. But I'm so far in the tech tree compared to my infrastructure, I'm not really worried about it right now. Okay, now I've got the area cleared out. It's time to start designing something. So I gotta play around with some ideas. I don't know if it's like the best. It's most definitely not like the best ratio of production of like copper to circuits, but it will work. It will definitely work with the circuit assemblers that produce at a higher produce at a higher rate or have a higher crafting speed. It should go pretty nice. So I spent some time to reorganize that little storage area. Alright, so I got the basic circuit board set up. That's good to go. It's time to build some components. I need resistors. I'm just going to use the same setup, but with tin copper wire. Let's see, so this is where having that massive storage of iron plate, copper plate come in handy. Because at some point, my mining areas are going to dry out. And I'm still going to have a surplus of plates already produced that's gone through the whole smelting area process already. It really helps out on a single player game when you're focusing on one area of your factory and you end up spending a lot of time just on that one area. And you gotta move on to a different area. You You can't just do everything all at one time. So I'll put down 8 factories for the resistors. But the thing is that the resistors, they get produced really quick in a moderate quantity. So even a yellow belt will not be able to push through the amount of resources that it needs to push. Especially since the next circuit eats up 5 of them, and the third circuit eats up like 4 of them. So that yellow belt will get replaced by a red belt. Also, there's a part of me that thinks that, you know, when it comes to resistors with the amount that you need, you know, you may not be exactly be able to just produce them in one area. You just may need to just produce them locally where they're needed. But I'm going to try this out for now. I might be able to get away with it. So I got to do some little snaking to get the resin down to the solder. Well, now that I've got the resistors and the solder, I can now do the Tier 2, which I believe is the basic electronic circuit. I tried to maintain some kind of functionality of the main bus, but I've just completely ran out of space between the main bus and the production area. I did not plan ahead. So, good old robots, they're just going to move everything down, so I'm just going to make room. Well, when it comes to the solder, you gotta make those plates, and we're having to use the blue smelters, which require coal, which I will manually feed. Now the coal slows or burns at a slow rate, and there's 200 units, so it should take a while for that to actually bleed off. So now I'm taking the time to move these pieces down to actually try and maintain some kind of a main bus line. Now I don't plan to keep these circuit components to go all the way down a line. This is just for the first, or for the tier 2 and tier 3 circuits. When I get to the tier 4 circuits and T5, I think they're blue and green, I will reproduce everything that they need down there for them. Now, the lead plate and the tin plate, they get moved into one line. The curved part from the lead plate, the belt is what I'm speaking of, it keeps disappearing. I don't know if I'm secretly deleting it and not seeing it, but I've had to replace it like twice since I moved it. It was kind of weird. with the silicon, the only component that got bust was the charcoal, the quartz, and whatever that green stuff was. Something sulfate, I think. The quartz is easy. I can just fill up an entire box and it will have enough quartz forever. The other components I will have to bring down from the oil gas area, which will be rebuilt after I move the research. Same thing with the transistors with the plastic. So this is where it got a little tricky. I'm trying to move over the boards for the new circuit, but I forgot that there's one more step where the board needs to be etched. So I ended up getting the whole area built right when I realized that we got one more step with the boards. We got to back this train up. And that's where I realized it. So I needed copper and tin, and what better place was to take it is at the end of the tin wire line. They're already there. So I'll take this moment to go ahead and refill the research area, which the thing that was lacking was the basic circuit board and tree. What I was hoping to get was an electric furnace, and the sapphirite had dried up. So I'll go ahead and I rearranged the electric mining drills. And I ended up building a warehouse for the stone, so my smelting process isn't halted up. The stone will be turned into bricks, which will be turned into walls eventually. At some point, I'm going to have trouble with biters, or maybe I'm just going to be really lucky, and the fact that half my base is surrounded by a lake is going to hold them off. But they got me down there somewhere south of somewhere. So I finally get the edge boards built, but they're being produced at such a slow rate. I need to replace the assembler machine with an F-circuit one, so it somewhat would be faster. I need these boards to be produced faster than the actual circuits, otherwise I'm going to be waiting on boards. So it's 4 resistors and 4 transistors and just 1 solder and 1 board. So I put the resistors and the transistors closer to the assembler so that the inserters don't have to move as far. Alright, well that's going to be it. I've got circuits up and running, and I will see y'all next time.